Dark Discoveries is a podcast that dives into the darker corners of history, mystery, and the downright bizarre. We discuss real events that may include graphic details, adult themes, and strong language. Not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
We're here to inform, entertain, and maybe make you laugh nervous in public, but never to glorify the criminals or make light of their victims. Our research is thorough, but hey, we're not perfect.
We don't claim to be historians, so if we get something slightly off, blame Jimbo. All opinions are our own, and sometimes even those are questionable.
Welcome back to Dark Discoveries. I'm your host, Dustin. I'm here, as always, with
Jimbo.
And Jackie.
So tonight, we're going to kick this episode off with a true crime story that's so uniquely bizarre, it's frankly belongs in its own category. We've explored cryptids. We've talked about true crimes and missing children, grand tragedies. But prepare yourself for the heist. So absurd, so uniquely Canadian, it could only involve maple syrup.
Yum.
Yes, you heard that right. Not diamonds, not gold, not even fine art, but sticky, sweet.
Hang on right there just a second, partner.
What are you interrupting me for? I'm trying to get my intro done.
It is time to incorporate the first Dustin Dances with Dragon.
Oh, baby.
Dustin Dances with Dragons.
You're still not going to get me to watch Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, so I don't know what the hell you're trying.
Well, Dustin, the people demanded it, so
The people?
If anybody would like to find out where I'm getting this information, there is a fabulous book called The Monster Hunter's Handbook, the ultimate guide to saving mankind from vampires, zombies, hellhounds, and other mythical beasts by Ibrahim S. Ayman. So I thought, what better way than on an episode of Dark Discoveries to give Dustin the opportunity to fight some of these mystical beasts and tell us how he would beat them.
You don't have to tell me what it is. It's going to be a crucifix, a gun, and a shot of whiskey.
Okay, well, first up today on this episode, you will be taking on the legendary creature, the Cyclops.
Okay, and I forgot.
I don't think the crucifix is going to do shit.
Okay, I forgot a sword, okay?
So, Dustin, what is a Cyclops?
Something with three heads.
Oh, my God.
Or
No,
three
it's got
eyes.
one eye. One-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
I was just thinking about three-headed dog or something.
It is a huge creature resembling a human being, but for its great size and single eye.
Hey, you guys.
Cyclopses tend to dwell on islands with other of their kind, preying on ships and travelers unfortunate enough to enter their domain. Though savage and brutish in their behavior, these monsters have some understanding of agriculture.
Ooh,
They often
can farm.
keep flocks of sheep, and their caves contain stores of cheese and other such products.
I bet that
However,
cake stinks,
It's
man.
Tremonda cheese is what they got.
That cheese stinks.
However, they will always dine on human meat when the opportunity arises.
Cannibal.
So, Dustin, tell the audience before I tell you how you really do it, how would you go about killing a Cyclops?
You ever seen the movie Your Highness?
No.
This is going to be a little PG-13, but I'm going in there with a sword and I'm cutting its dick off.
Oh, my Lanta.
Do you think you could reach it?
Then I'm going to hang it around my neck like a trophy, and I'm going to go home.
Well, let me read this first line of this. Due to its huge
It's a great
size
movie. You should
and
watch it.
devastating strength of the Cyclops, Only a foolhardy hunter would attempt to engage one in close combat.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna go well.
Would you like to change your story?
Okay, I can take the sword away and I can cut it off when I get done and I kill it with a
Okay, wait. You said a
With a-
crucifix. You said what?
A shot of whiskey. And
Shot of
what was the
whiskey
other-
and what else?
and a gun.
I thought you said a sword.
I thought you said.
No, you said that crucifix wasn't going to work, so I couldn't pray it away. So this case, I'll take a sword.
Okay.
A goblin-made sword, of course.
All right, Dustin, I'm going to give you the danger of the Cyclops. They are immense in size and powerful.
They're stupid.
And the weakness, they have low intelligence. So the battle of the wits is probably out of the question with you, I'm going to say, because he might win.
Like I said, you step on his foot, you cut its dick off, and you win.
So how are you going to kill it, you said?
You want me to keep repeating myself? I'm going to chop its wiener off.
Oh my
And it's going to die from blood loss.
Okay, but here you go. To kill a Cyclops, a hunter should employ ranged weapons there, Dustin,
Well, that's where the gun come in.
such as a bow or a sling, perhaps poisoning his missiles so they may easily bring down such a large creature.
I'm gonna dig me a big
David
old
and
hole.
Goliath style.
I'm gonna dig me a big old hole, and I'm gonna get some punji sticks, and I'm gonna cover in poop. You know what a punji stick
What
is?
the heck is a punji?
This was like Vietnam, Korea time. They would dig holes,
Yeah.
and they would sharpen pieces of bamboo.
Oh no.
And you'd walk through and you'd fall and impale yourself on a stick.
Yeah,
that
I've seen that. I didn't know that
probably
was the
has
name.
poop on it because it gets in you and it gets infected and all that stuff. But
Okay.
we'll punji stick
But
it.
Dustin, just because you're attacking a Cyclops from a distance, you shouldn't consider yourself out of danger.
Can you see me?
because They can throw boulders. They've been known to throw boulders at people.
Oh man, here comes this rock.
You better
It's
look out. I
advi-
bet that aim isn't great with one eye.
It's
I'll be honest.
You
advisable
can't close one eye and aim.
for a skilled hunter to target a Cyclops' eye first to render the monster blind and therefore hamper its ability to accurately return fire. In an emergency,
I'll post up on a rock.
a person
boom.
forced to
I
deal
shoot
with the
him in the eye,
Cyclops
he's
may
done.
wish to exploit the creature's lack of intelligence by deceiving him. A small dose of poison placed in a tempting supply of wine, so your shot of whiskey might not work,
no.
might be appropriate.
I'm gonna take a red cloth. I'm gonna get a fake thumb and put it in my hand. And I'm gonna shove it in there and then do a magic trick.
Surprise!
Where did it go?
None of you guys, because we're not video yet, you can't see my demonstration, but I'm doing it.
And this has been Dustin Dances with Dragons.
Yes.
And don't put yourself in a
okay,
situation
so,
where you're with a Cyclops.
Jimbo, what was the survival rate on that, you think?
Of coming across a Cyclops?
Yeah, 1 out of 10. Do you think you could,
Dustin?
survive it? Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Sorry, 0 to 10. What's his
Am I-
rating?
Am I going on a
let's think
quest?
about this. Dustin goes up there with the sword, cuts the thing's wiener off. It's going to fall right on his head and kill him.
Okay, so we're going to go with the 0 on that one. We'll try harder next time.
We'll see if we
So,
can actually do
do I know I'm going on a quest?
You said,
You
I
do
said,
now.
what were you taking? You said a crucifix.
Well, you didn't tell me what I was going after
That's
first.
the fun part about it. You got to always be prepared.
Yes.
You take that rifle off your back and you're done.
But if you were stranded on a desert island, you didn't have a rifle.
See, I'm not going somewhere. Like, if it becomes an apocalypse situation, I'm going to be prepared.
I don't
and
think
win.
it's an apocalypse. It sounds very Middle Earth to me.
So that makes it sound like I'm going there with intentions. Unless when I go to Mexico and I go to Cozumel and there's an earthquake and the earth opens up,
Hollow Earth.
it cracks open.
what is that, Land of the Lost? That's what happened to them.
And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go jump in this
Marshall,
hole to go
Bill,
look
and
for.
Holly.
I'm going to go look for a Cyclops. I'm not going to be prepared because I'm on a ship with my damn cell phone and
But it didn't work in
That's
Middle
it.
Earth. Welcome.
I'm not putting myself in that situation unless I know I'm going to go kill a Cyclops.
Sometimes you don't get to choose when you're in a certain situation.
You don't put yourself in those situations. That's
Then don't
I mean,
go on a
come on.
cruise. Say
Gilligan
Mexico.
was there for years, and it was only 3 hours. And you know how many clothes they packed? I mean, they were prepared.
but by
Well, the
God,
Howells did. They were rich.
but by God, they could make all kinds of stuff out of coconuts.
Oh man, I want to make some of that coconut pie. That's good. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
now
wait a minute. Before we go, let me just throw this out there. How come you had the professor there? He could get a radio working, but he couldn't patch the boat.
Right? That really wasn't that big of a hole. I mean, they made everything.
but in the end,
They decided to stay.
the island just floats back to the land. I think this
Was that how it landed?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's how it ended.
They all
They
all
floating back to the
decided
land.
to stay on the island.
Yeah,
Remember,
that's what I thought.
They
They
came to get
stayed on the
rescued, and they
island.
all just decided to stay on the
I
island. That was their life.
thought the island floated back to the mainland.
No, I thought they stayed on the island. I don't think islands float like that.
Well, I think that's, I think,
I take it back. It's a negative 20. You're surviving against the Cyclops who's stupid.
let me Google. Let me Google.
Oh, look, he's going to feel really stupid here in a second.
I could have swore.
How is an island going to float back to the mainland?
I was going to say, I mean, yeah, the water recedes and yeah.
You just got an island floating out there all over the place.
Okay,
we're in the
well,
Philippines this
Is
time.
he, or is he
wait a
thinking
minute.
of an iceberg?
What did you find, Dustin?
Okay.
The original, I guess they tried to do a TV movie, but
They did.
I thought there was something to where it was something stupid, but
That would be, you're right, Jimbo.
The whole show was pretty stupid, but it was a good show.
It was
It
a
was
great
a good
show.
show. Great theme
It was
song,
very fun.
too.
I'm actually going to go see a friend of mine in the musical version as Gilligan. I can't wait. He's
that sounds awesome.
hilarious.
I just think who played Gilligan? Bob Denver. I just think when they did it, he was just that whole thing was him just getting really, really high, and they just came up with something. That's my opinion.
All right, Dustin. Sorry to
it was
get
never
you
meant
all
to be
off
real.
kiltered and off course. Why don't you go ahead and jump back into your sticky situation?
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
like to hear about some maple syrup.
All right, now that you guys had your fun,
Oh, it's just starting.
let me get going again. This tale of the great Canadian maple syrup heist of 2012, trust me, please trust me, it's far more thrilling than it sounds. To truly understand the caper, I'm guessing is what they want me to say, we need to
Wrote
first,
it and he did it.
we first need to but that's what happens when you Google and put words in for other things and you pick one. You have to understand the powerful, and some say the supreme entity that became the victim of this story. The Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers, or the FPAQ, now known as the QMSP. And we do have some Canadian listeners, so they probably are aware of this story. And I am sorry I'm going to butcher this, but this is just, it made me laugh.
Do you like Canadian bacon?
No. I like American bacon. Big, thick, fat slices of Indiana kitchen bacon, the best bacon on the planet. Some
But
say
you, Jackie, you like Canadian
some say
bacon?
right bacon's good, but it's
I'm a
too
weirdo.
much.
I love Canadian bacon on
So do I.
pizza. I put it with pineapple. I put it with mandarin oranges on my pizza. I freaking love.
I don't
that
mind
crap.
pepper. Like this is a fact that will probably make us lose listeners, but I do not mind a pepperoni pineapple pizza because pizza has no rules. It's a peasant's food. You put what you got, and when you put that extra little bit, that texture change, that cooler piece of pineapple,
Some honey cinnamon butter from Texas Roadhouse.
it makes it exotic. But back to our story. Now, this isn't some cozy club for maple syrup enthusiasts. In Quebec, see, the producers in Quebec make 70 to 75% of the entire world's supply of maple syrup. So the FPAQ isn't an association. It's practically the OPEC of the maple syrup industry. I still don't like OPEC because they're playing with their gas prices again. They control production quotas for their roughly 8,000 members of suppliers, producers. They set the prices, and most importantly, they maintain a colossal global strategic maple syrup reserve. Who would have thought? And maple syrup, if you ever tried to go tap a maple tree, it just doesn't come out with maple syrup. You got to do a lot of steps.
Have you done it?
No, I've watched people do it, and I'm like, hey, good for you. I'll eat it, but that's too much work. I'd rather grow bees. I think that's less work. I got friends that grow bees, that raise bees, and
So do I.
it's still some work, though.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't sound fun at all.
It's easy until it's time to harvest that honey.
Well, if you're allergic to bees too, that's not a very.
But
good
I tell
thing
you
either.
what, when you get free honey out of that deal, it's pretty good.
I don't think it's worth the risk.
But I get free honey out of it when I make my barbecue. I use locally sourced honey, and oh my god,
We didn't know
it's
Dustin
good.
was a barter trader.
So imagine Fort Knox, but liquid gold. The reserve is designed to stabilize the market, holding back syrup during bumper crop years and releasing it during leaner ones. So kind of like how I think this year's going to be a bumper crop around our parts with this corn, because like 2 weeks ago, it was like knee high.
It's like shoulder length now.
Most of the stuff I'm looking at now is probably 5 foot and it's starting to tassel.
In case they don't know, the rule in Indiana is knee high by July.
4th
That's
of
how
July.
high you want your corn to be.
I passed some short stuff, but it was still knee high. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a good crop this year. Mm-hmm. But I divulge. I mean, we're getting off track again, but just bear with me.
We talk about food. It just gets, we just go off course.
So with a bumper crop, they release it on the leaner years to ensure a steady, sweet flow of breakfast tables across the world. So, I mean, you don't want it to be, you have too much supply, the price goes down. So they keep it to where, you know, that now I understand why maple syrup is so expensive. You go buy real maple syrup, man, you got to mortgage that freaking house. So at the time of our story, this incredibly valuable stockpile was located in a massive, nondescript, rented warehouse in a small St. Louis de Blanford, Quebec. So I think we've got some Quebec listeners. So how you doing? Send us an email. Tell me how bad I am.
Well, probably when it's not St. Louis or St. Louis.
Well, I can't that accent that the Quebecers have.
French?
I can't do the French and all that stuff. So they can roast me and send me a voice message on how bad it is. Now you think a warehouse holding millions of dollars worth of anything, let alone the nation's strategic syrup supply, would be under Fort Knox level security? No. Astonishingly, there were no security cameras, no alarms, just a single solitary guard who was supposed to check on the facility daily. Don't even sound like he was walking around all day. It's like, I get up in the morning, hey, door's still locked, I'm going home. Sounds like an American right
Or
there.
was he in on it?
I don't know. You'll have to wait and listen. I'm picturing a guy with a clipboard, maybe a donut, maybe some pancakes and syrup. Just nodding at the barrels. It shall we say, a gaping, sticky invitation. I mean, just here's these barrels. Let's just, let's dip that donut in that syrup. Let's see how that tastes. Enter our alleged mastermind, Richard Valerier. I can't even say it. Vallie with the little fancy thing on top. RES. Now, Richard wasn't some random opportunistic thief. He had a history in the maple syrup black market, always finding ways to sell syrup outside of the FPAQ's heavily regulated system. So for him, this just wasn't about cash. It was about giving the man a big, sweet, sticky middle finger to the Federation's iron grip on the industry. Would that be treason? Is that Canadian treason?
Canadian treason?
Who needs tea when you have syrup?
Hey, man, if you're going to go dump,
I wonder if they tax their syrup high.
I don't know, but if you go dump syrup in the in Lake Michigan, I'm going to go.
I'll go drink it.
Yeah, I'm going to go dip that out. He found his crucial insider, Avik, A-V-I-K, laugh at me again, Karen, C-A-R-O-N, but we're going to call him Karen, whose spouse conveniently owned the very warehouse where the reserve was being stored. He's got a key to the castle, baby. The heist itself wasn't a smash and grab. Oh, no. This masterpiece was patience and the absurdity carried out over several months. From late 2011 to July 2012. Imagine this. Our sticky fingered crew would gain access to the warehouse. They'd use the forklifts to load dozens of barrels, if not hundreds of barrels of maple syrup. These full barrels are about 600 pounds. How much is a barrel of whiskey? How much does that weigh?
You're typically looking at anywhere from about 450 to 5.
So it's not that
The
far
sugar
off.
content is so much heavier than the actual liquid content.
You just can't pick that up by yourself. That's not an
Yeah.
easy. That's a gruesome job, especially. I'm assuming Canada gets pretty hot in the summer, so the end of the summer, it's still gonna be sticky.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're aging honey in barrels here at the distillery, and that is a sticky, heavy mess. But this is the best time of year to do it because the barrels love the humidity, they love the heat,
Soaking
they
up every
expand
bit of
and
it.
contract. Yes, absolutely.
Imagine if one broke.
Oh, I've been there.
Just a huge mess.
Yeah.
They transport this syrup to a remote sugar shacks or clandestine processing facilities. They would meticulously siphon the valuable maple syrup out of the barrels. But here's the true moment of comedic genius or sheer mind-boggling effort. They then refilled some of those empty barrels with water. They actually replaced the previous maple syrup with tap water, hoping to maintain the illusion of full barrels during the visual checks.
The visual checks, yes, but the actual sugar content, the rapid velocity and viscosity that would come out of that, a real person that did this should catch that right away.
I'm assuming they're gonna do random checks because I'm assuming if you're would they put it in steel barrels? Like I wouldn't think plastic. Would they put it in?
I'm assuming they would probably do it in steel because they probably have to heat them, and a lot of times those steel bands actually have heating units that can attach to the bottom or internally in there and heat them so that it's getting the right consistency. I don't know if they're storing anything in a wooden barrel, but if they would have to heat that as well.
If it wasn't wood though, you would pull some of it out. Like an angel share of the maple syrup, and it would maybe give you a lighter color and maybe make it believable, but I doubt it. So, like I said, visual checks, it looks like that number of barrels is there. That's a lot of work. I mean, if you got to do that all in one night, take out however many, empty it, drain them, fill them, take them back.
Well, and here's the thing, too. It's not like a normal liquid. It is going to move so much slower to empty that.
Yeah.
My team is literally dumping the honey right now, and it takes just about as long as 5 gallons of honey to exit as the 53 gallons of bourbon that we do when we dump it.
But if they were smart, they would have had that already, the exact same barrels, like empty barrels or whatever, outside of there so they could just do a dump and grab.
You would think, like I said, I'm not sure if we're dealing with geniuses or not.
I'm going to say it starts off that way, but anybody that actually works in there and does their job correctly is going to catch on pretty quick.
Can you imagine them sending water to the processing plant to bottle?
What a nightmare.
Hey, we got a problem.
Yeah.
Did they get the right temperature water? Oh, hold on. Let me go back. So we're going for those visual checks. Can you imagine the commitment? Like I said, they're putting a lot of work to move these barrels around. The conversations, Dave, did you turn off that tap? Did you get the right amount of water? Kevin, we don't want to look suspicious. It's just beautiful. I mean, it's just so absurd. The scale of this operation was immense. By the time it was all over, 9,571 barrels of maple syrup had vanished.
Oh my God!
So
9,000?
these bastards are the reason it's $10
or
for
gallons.
Barrels.
Oh my God! All right, so you got to imagine
53 gallons.
53 gallons to a 55-gallon drum. Yeah, insane.
Yeah, that's why the price of maple syrup. I don't think it's ever came back down because of this. So I have to take Pearl Mining Company maple syrup, which is like fake maple. It's
imitation maple.
It's the imitation maple.
It's the Walmart brand.
No, it's the one that Aunt Jemima was on.
Oh, nice.
The Pearl Mining Company or whatever.
Say that anymore.
But hey, dude, that
Bring her back.
Yes, please.
well, she died. She was old, but she
Not her.
But her family wants it back.
wants it
Her
back.
family loved it.
She was
She's
a,
an icon, dude.
She was a spokeswoman, and like I know it was controversial, but she made a good living doing that.
Yeah.
And
It was an era.
yeah, I mean it's everybody wants to be mad about stuff, but the family wasn't mad.
The family was disappointed
and
that it stopped.
wasn't she the original one? Wasn't she a survivor from slavery?
That I don't know.
That might be a deep dive you can do later for
Yeah, that would be a fun follow up on the milk.
Should have had
syrup.
that to follow up on
Yeah.
this, but that's 9,500 That's a lot of work.
Barrels.
Even if you're using forklifts.
That's insane.
Do you have a forklift? Well,
I mean,
probably
they
do
couldn't
at
have
the
done
other
that in one night. That is a span
point.
of time.
It was over a year and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd have to be.
That's still you would take that by.
Well, and my problem is if you're adding water to that, especially tap water, the mold growth that will happen with that because of the sugar content, the heat, and the fact that it's water, stagnant water.
Yeah.
There's no alcohol in it. There's no preservative in it. It is gonna get weird in those barrels.
Well, I have a question. Did they have to do FIFO? First in, first out? Like rotate the supply so this doesn't go bad? Do you know what I mean? Because you would have caught it a lot
I'm assuming
sooner
it's
if not.
sugar, so they could probably heat it and be fine.
I know honey never goes bad.
Yeah, as long as you heat it, it stops the crystallization. Yeah, it'll.
I don't
go
know
back to
about
a
maple
liquid state.
syrup, but I would assume they're probably taking.
Well, and what comes
The
out of the
earliest.
tree is essentially just water with
Yeah,
sugar in
it's
it.
a sugar water.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the maple syrup that's on the
You
table
got to
today.
process and do a lot of work to get there. So that 9,571 barrels comes out to nearly 3,000 tons, or 6 million pounds of maple syrup. These guys had to be jacked when they were done. We're talking about
Diabetes.
roughly 18.7 million Canadian dollars of this
Black
liquidy
market gold.
goodness, breakfast gold. That's maple syrup. It's easy to become one. This easily has to be one of the biggest agricultural thefts in the history of the world.
That's about as bad as the gentleman that stole the bourbon off of
That's what I was about
Buffalo
to say.
Trace.
You mean
yeah.
that's I'm stealing Pappy and this stuff, and what am I going to do with these barrels? Oh, I'm just going to put them in my backyard. Just cover them with
nuts.
Cover them with a tarp. That's a. You would think that they would have cameras there because that's
I have cameras everywhere.
and like he was stealing Pappy too and selling it and just
Nuts.
this is why you can't trust your employees.
Yep.
The theft was finally discovered on July 2012 during the annual inventory check by
Oh
the
my gosh.
FPAQ.
So let me guess. So the second that the last one was done is when this heist started.
You have to
Yeah.
because if we're getting $18.7 million of maple syrup,
Yeah.
I'm cashing out them toonies and loonies and I'm leaving the
Where
country.
were they storing it?
They took it to a different processing site to, I'm guessing,
just funnel it in with their own stuff.
black market.
Yeah.
Because you mean the government's running it. It's
Well, and that's the other thing too. The government's going to want their cut. All that stuff has to be documented.
oh yeah. It's just like your thing. You have to
Absolutely. We can't tap into a barrel without acknowledging on a government website that we have tapped into this barrel, this much was extracted, so that when we do get the angel share, that is accounted for in there, that, okay, this was taken out for sampling and testing.
And then don't you have to account for every bottle that's filled?
Every bottle, every ounce, even what doesn't make a full bottle has to be recorded to the government, and that has to be considered a waste product. Yes.
I will be more than happy to take you.
Most of the time, what happens is that is recorded and then it goes on to festivals or events.
That way you're not giving away product.
We're not giving it away, but when we go to places, we can take that partial and still sample it out. Absolutely.
Hey, man, you got to work around the system.
You know it. Well, it is all government reported.
Yeah.
We still pay for it.
Yeah, you paid for it. You just...
we pay the fraction of
I'm sure you get to market as a
bottle.
loss to a point, too.
Absolutely. But that is accounted for with the angel share. That's really the only thing. Anything that gets spilled on the floor, anything, we still have to pay the government something on that. And then
you
they'll
have to pay
get
for
their
the
taxes.
materials that got lost.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Have you ever had a faulty barrel or anything where you just lost the whole thing?
Yes. In 2021, my warehouse had a fire, and as a result, the building itself had no power for 6 months while all the repairs were going on. It was an electrical fire. We were fine. The electrician that came in hooked up something that he should not have, and it started an electrical fire in the attic of our warehouse. And when it went, it just took off. As a matter of fact, I was in the back of the building.
that's all accelerant.
Oh, yeah. When I was in the back of the building with the electrician talking to him, and my assistant was up front, and we cut the power because I kept saying, man, it smells like somebody's cooking. It was the middle of December. We were like, there's a wood fire out here. And we went outside. This has gone on for like maybe half an hour at this point. We could not find the source of it. And he cut the power, and my assistant screamed, and I turned around. The whole ceiling in the warehouse was glowing orange from my office clear to my barrel racks. And underneath we had 53 barrels sitting on the floor because we were rotating them because it was wintertime. It was time to put the old stuff in a different position. We typically keep the younger stuff up top, and we work our way down because by the time it reaches the bottom, the temperature fluctuations are a little bit more stable. But the younger stuff, we want to age a little bit, differently and faster, so it goes up top. So it was about time to start moving in the new stuff. And so we had 53 barrels on the floor. We moved all 48 of them out of the way before the fire department arrived. 3 fire departments showed up, and we were able to get everything under control within about an hour and a half. When I came in, after this hour and a half, the water was coming out. It just looked like a waterfall out of my ceiling. It was insane. And the fire department was all seated around our grand table there, and they were like, hey, who's pouring? So they really enjoyed it. As a result, all of these barrels in the middle of winter were still on the floor. They were out of the way of the fire, but they were still on the floor. They had water damage. We ended up losing in total 4 to just loss. And then several in the wintertime cracked, opened up, staves, things like that. We weren't allowed into the building until all these repairs had been made per insurance. So I had to watch a lot of years of work kind of slowly disintegrate. And we have opened some of these barrels up. And granted, the majority survived. We really only
Please
lost
tell
a
me
few.
you're going to do a special label, like a fire sale or...
Actually, we came up with our toasted bourbon because of that. And we donated a case to the fire departments that came and worked with us. And we were like, because of you guys, on the 1 year anniversary, we brought them toasted bourbon, which they thought that was really cool.
Did you have to pay the government anything out of something like that when you lost those?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When you wasted all those, right?
Yes. So luckily, insurance covered the loss on the majority of that.
Yeah, but it doesn't cover the 2, 3, 4 years that it takes.
The years of work, yeah. So basically what we would have sold the barrels, what we ended up getting out of it. But because of it, we have some really unique flavor combinations that have come out of those barrels. Absolutely. A lot of them have like a toffee or a caramel finish, which is really cool. And anytime we have customers or clients come in for tastings, those are always the ones they want. It's always like, that barrel is so cool, and I'm like, can't repeat it, but here's why. It went through some extreme trauma, but it did amazing things. And we call here in Indiana, we have what's called honey barrels. You're going to have in every distillery, but in Texas, you'll get 1 out of every 20 barrels that does it. Here in Indiana, we get 1 out of every 5, and it's due to the humidity, and it's the natural sugars and saps of the wood that kind of patch the leaks and problems throughout the barrel, but it also adds the natural sugar into the bourbon itself. So it does this really cool thing where it ages and it sugars the inside of the barrel, which we love.
Sorry if we bored you, but my friends are cooler than yours.
I'm sorry. I could talk about this all day.
We'll have to have a good prohibition episode where we can talk about some of this because
it's fun.
I guess I can make a whole episode right now, but
It's good.
like I said, Buffalo Trace profits off of the tornadoes and all this stuff, so y'all better do it too.
We prefer just to close that chapter. It was a very trying time. Everyone survived. Most of my barrels survived, and we could not be better friends with the fire department, and we're so grateful for all of them.
I just stop by and check in now and just, hey, you got any leftovers?
Every once in a while, they just come by and see me like, how you doing? It's great. We love them.
So when they did this annual investigation in July of 2012, Inspector Michael man, I don't want to butcher this name. I'm going to say it's Guevara. Probably thinking it was just another Tuesday, climbed on a stack of barrels and nearly fell over because one felt unusually light. He opened it, empty. That's my dramatic pause. He opened the others, some empty, some full of water. The jig, as they say, was up. Or rather, the syrup was gone. Gosh, here we go again. The Satur de Quebec, I'm hoping that's even remotely close. Quebec's, basically their Providence police, launched a massive investigation. Imagine being the lead detective in that case. All right, team, we're looking for some syrup, and a lot of it. Check the grocery store. They followed the sticky trail, which led them across Quebec into New Brunswick, and even down in the United States into Vermont, New Hampshire, and even Ontario. The stolen syrup was being sold in smaller batches to unsuspecting, legitimate distributors who had no idea they were buying stolen goods. So if you bought maple syrup in, I don't know, probably 2012, 13, maybe into 14, probably had some stolen maple syrup, which is pretty freaking cool. So between December 2012 and April 2013, the police made their moves. Raids were conducted and a significant portion of the maple syrup was recovered. That's kind of a bummer for us. Some was sadly deemed unfit for consumption due to improper handling.
Oh, no.
In total, at least 20 people were arrested in connection with this heist.
Wow.
The legal aftermath of this is just as fascinating. Richard, our mastermind, was found guilty of fraud, trafficking, and theft. In 2016, he was sentenced to 8 years in prison. But here's the truly unique part. He was also hit with a massive fine over $9 million in Canadian money, which is what, 1.5 times the US dollar or something like that? Because it's always, you buy a magazine, you see the Canadian price, it's always more expensive. I think it was more expensive, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's always like $1 more.
Yeah.
Precisely equal to the value of the stolen goods. So, I mean, we said he stole X amount, but that's the market value versus
You said how many? It was 9 point what?
$9 million is what he had to pay back. It was $18.7 million. So you have, your cost versus your retail, which I'd still charge you for 18.7 because that's what you lost.
Yeah.
Probably lost even more with all that.
Well, improper handling, storage, all that. You can't cross-contaminate and
Once
not
it's
to mention
stolen, I'm sure it's gone. And
what they lost in barrels and you name it too.
And it's the government you're dealing with. So the government gets their money.
Yeah.
They're going no taxation without representation. They're going to get you. So the Supreme Court of Canada upheld the fine, adding an additional 6 years of prison if he fails to pay that back. Let's go on a limb. He ain't paying that shit back. Let's talk about the final sticky financial situation. His insider accomplished that Avik Karen got 5 years and a hefty fine as well. The Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist is a wild example of how vulnerable, even how mundane it seems, commodities can be. How elaborate and bizarre crimes can be when the stakes are high. And perhaps the touch of anti-establishmentarianism when it's involved. So you screw the government, I'm getting over on you. We're anti-authority here. It truly makes you think, what else are they hiding within those strategic reserves? And how lax are their security? Well, I know they compare this to Fort Knox.
Well, and how
You ain't getting within like 2 miles of that place.
How many people potentially on their security were in on this heist too? You would have to have it for that kind of stuff going in and out. Somebody knew what was up.
You have to. Like I said, unless if you just have one guard and you're really that lax, shame on you.
Well, let's face it. Who would think to steal maple syrup?
It's expensive. Like a 12 to 16 ounce thing of maple syrup is freaking $12 to $15.
Yeah.
We all know the best maple syrup comes from Vermont. Jimbo.
Yes, sir.
What are you talking about tonight? After we just kept everybody on pins and needles for how long? 30 minutes?
I'm going to have to bring it down a tone or two.
I could be a politician because I could filibuster.
Well,
I do not like green eggs and ham. Sam, I am. So I had to read the whole time.
lies because we know you can't read. You probably slaughtered Dr. Seuss's words.
And the proof was just in the syrup.
So we're going to take a sharp turn to the bizarre over here. We're actually going to be talking about the story of Barbara Jane Mackley. She was buried alive. In 1968, Emory, a student, Barbara Jean Mackley, was kidnapped and buried alive in a coffin. Have you ever heard of this before, Dustin?
I have not, but you know what's good about being fat? They ain't gonna pick me up and put me in a coffin.
Have you heard of this,
I'll
Jackie?
probably have to have a special coffin to be put into, to be honest
We'll
with
just
you.
take the top off a baby grand piano. We'll be good.
Who did they do that for? There was someone they did that for. I was like, oh my Lanta. I have not heard of this case, but I got to say I'm a little envious of her because that sounds very peaceful right now. So it's good.
So,
A little hot though.
A little hot, but yeah, a little
ooh, in this humidity,
quiet. Yeah.
Well, you're
I
in ground, so it
I
may
was
not be
gonna say,
too
I just
bad.
want a cold, dark place
I can
to
see
take
a little
nap.
girl. Mom,
Mom, what are you doing in
coat
there?
break.
The core of the earth is extremely hot, but when you start to get underground, it gets cool. So
No, it's hollow.
how does that work?
They just found an ocean under the ocean. Think about that.
Don't you just blew his mind?
I did. So I will send you the
alternate-
link later. It's pretty amazing.
Talk about an alternate universe. Maybe
Yeah,
there's
baby.
maybe there's underwater us down there.
Oh no.
Mermaids.
Not mermaids.
Man.
It's just a convex.
It all comes back to mermaids
Every
eventually.
time, man. Every time.
So Barbara was attending Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. Dustin, Atlanta. Have you ever drove by it, seen signs, anything? No?
Where at in Atlanta?
I don't know. In Atlanta.
in Atlanta, Georgia.
Emory
I like Atlanta.
University.
That's my second home.
You're crazy. You know how long it takes to get through that state?
That's why you go to Atlanta.
Forever.
That's why you go to Atlanta, not through Atlanta.
Oh, he's
But
onto it
she
there.
fell ill with the Hong Kong flu after a pandemic struck the campus. Mackley fell ill earlier in December, but the illness progressed until she had to leave during an exam. Jane traveled to Atlanta to take care of her daughter and drive her back to the family home in Coral Gables, Florida for the Christmas break. Before they departed, they stayed at a nearby Roadway Inn.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
That's where they got the Hong Kong flu.
Yeah.
And maybe some bed bugs. But
That night, Barbara's best friend Stuart Hunt Woodward visited them. On December 17th, 1968, prison escapee Gary Stephen Christ,
Oh no.
wearing a mask and holding a shotgun, and his accomplice, Ruth Eisman Shear, wearing a ski mask, knocked on the door of the room Barbara and Jane were sharing at the
So
Roadway
rule
Inn
number
at
one.
approximately 4 a.m.
Oh, those
Rule-
assholes. Don't wake me up at that time.
rule number 1, don't stay in a motel.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Rule number 2, don't stay in a cheap motel.
You got a third one?
Number 3, don't answer that freaking door for nobody.
At 4 a.m, come on.
So Marriott, Drury. I'm really on
We're
Cambria.
not being sponsored by any of
I'm
these.
really on Cambria hotels right now because we stayed one in Dallas and we're going to stay in there again. It was really nice. Sponsor us, please. We'll do an awesome ad read for
But
you.
wait, here's how they got him outside. Are you ready?
Fire.
From outside, Chris told Barbara that there had been a traffic accident. Fearing that it may have been Stewart involved in the accident, Mrs. Mackley let them in. Once inside, Chris and Eisman Shear chloroformed and bound Jane and forced Barbara at gunpoint into the back of their waiting car, informing her that she was being kidnapped.
This is why you stay in nice hotels.
They drove Barbara to a remote pine standoff South Berkeley Lake Road in Gwinnett County near Lawrenceville and buried her in a shallow trench inside a fiberglass reinforced box. The box was outfitted with an air pump, a battery-powered lamp, water laced with sedatives, and food. 2 plastic pipes provided Mackley with outside air.
Wow.
So there was a ransom demand by these people.
I would say so.
Eisman, Shear, and Chris demanded a $500,000 ransom, which was equal to $4.6 million in 2025 dollars, from her father. The first attempt at a ransom drop was disrupted when 2 policemen drove by. The kidnappers fled on foot, and the FBI found their car abandoned. Inside the car were photographs of a man with a policeman's hat and the car registration in the name of George Deacon. So you find that in there, you're probably up to some pretty nefarious things, I would say, or have planned. The second ransom drop was successful, but there was no word from the kidnappers. The FBI was able to trace George Deacon to the University of Miami, where they discovered he built ventilated boxes for a living. Deacon's boss provided the name of Ruth Eisman Shear, who also worked at the university. As someone Deacon spent time with, the FBI was contacted by a local man in Georgia claiming he had just bought a small trailer from a man and found some odd paperwork inside. The FBI found letters addressed to George Deacon and Gary Christ, who had escaped from a California prison in 1966. When the FBI compared fingerprints found in the car to those found in Christ's file, they discovered Deacon and Christ were one and the same person.
Oh.
On December 20th, Christ called and gave a switchboard operator of the FBI vague directions to Mackley's location. The FBI set up their base in Lawrenceville, Gwinnett County's seat, and more than 100 agents spread out throughout the area in an attempt to find her, digging the ground with their hands and anything they could find to use. Mackley was found and rescued, suffering from dehydration, but otherwise unharmed. She had spent more than 3 days buried underground. Mackley was asked how she had remained so positive not only during the kidnapping, but after, when she showed no ill effects from the ordeal. She claimed she would imagine spending Christmas with her family and never doubted she would be rescued. Barbara was returned to her family, and after being rescued, she later married and had children.
Not with them.
No.
Okay, I was like, don't take it there.
So what happens? You have to go to the bathroom. Like I'm like serious. Like do
You just go, man.
You just go.
do you just go or
I mean,
Well,
what,
you
what
got to
else
remember,
do you
if
do?
they gave
She's
her,
dehydrated
there was
too.
water that they left with sedatives in there, so they probably knocked her out some of the time. I would
yeah,
say.
because you lose time, sense of time when you're in there
Underground.
Like
And
Yeah,
if it's
for
dark,
sure.
I'm sleeping a lot.
That's
probably.
just me.
that. I just didn't know if willpower will keep you from going to the bathroom or that's
Well, it depends on if she ate anything. If she didn't eat anything, she wouldn't have to go to the bathroom.
Right. Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to always have something in your stomach, so that could be a sticky situation in itself.
So Chris was arrested after a tip led a search towards the swamps of Florida that began on December 20th, 1968, and went on through half the night, hiding in a Florida swamp. Eisman Shear was arrested March 5th, 1969, in Norman, Oklahoma. She had applied for a job at a hospital, and as part of the background check, a fingerprint match was found by the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation.
Good.
Eisman Shear claimed she left Miami because she and Chris became separated after the money drop, and she was unable to get back to the car and thought Chris had abandoned her. She was convicted and sentenced to 7 years in prison, paroled after serving only 4 years, and deported to her native Honduras. Chris was convicted and sentenced to life in prison in 1969, but was released on parole after 10 years.
No.
Once again,
Received a pardon to allow him to attend medical school.
Oh my God.
He practiced medicine in Indiana.
No.
this dude's all over
We'll
the place.
take him on over here.
Oh my God. Okay.
Before his license was revoked in 2003 for lying
Gee, I
about
wonder
a
why.
disciplinary action received during his residency.
Jeez. Oh, not the fact that he kidnapped a girl and held her for ransom.
In March 2006, Christ was arrested on a sailboat off the coast of Alabama with 14 kilograms, 31 pounds of cocaine, repeatedly worth about $1 million, and 4 undocumented people. He was sentenced to 5 years and 5 months in prison and released in November 2010.
God, that guy is a lucky man.
On August 27, 2012, the same year as the Great Maple Escape over there, in Mobile, Alabama, U.S. District Judge Cali V. Granada revoked Christ's supervised release for violation of his probation. He had left the country without permission, selling to Cuba and South America on his sailboat. Judge Granade sentenced Chris to 40 months imprisonment.
You think that guy got off a lot. I've got a guy that we're going to eventually cover that got way luckier than he did on jail time.
So Mackley wrote a book with the Miami Herald reporter Gene Miller about her experience called 83 Hours Till Dawn, published in 1971. ABC aired the story in 1972 as part of the ABC Movie of the Week showcase under the title The Longest Night. The book was made into a second television movie, 83 Hours Till Dawn, in 1990. Chris also wrote a book, so if you want to check out from his perspective, called Life, The Man Who Kidnapped Barbara Jane Mackley, published in 1972.
I hope he's not profiting. I hope that goes to her.
Do you want a copy?
No.
The 1973 exploitation film The Candy Snatchers is loosely based on the Mackley kidnapping. So these are the ones you have. You have The Longest Night in 1972, 83 Hours Till Dawn in 1990, the TV series The FBI, The Untold Stories Buried Alive, Season 1, Episode 13 in 1991, and a TV series A Crime to Remember, Coffin for Christmas, Season 5, Episode 4 in 2018. And that is the case of Barbara Jane Mackley.
Oh, well, I'm glad I had a happy ending. That's...
Oh, yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Oh, my gosh. I mean...
Are you claustrophobic?
Crazy. I'm not claustrophobic, but snakes and spiders and underground things, that's where I would draw the line.
Dustin, are you claustrophobic?
Not necessarily, but until you put me in a coffin or whatever kind of box and bury me, I'll probably.
Have you been in an elevator that ever broke down with people in it?
No.
I have not, but my entire family was one time.
I've been in some slow ones, and it got a little scary.
You've been on some short buses, too.
No, my entire family was on a...
Our athletic buses in high school were short buses, so leave us alone. We were a small school with like 80 to 100 kids a grade. Leave us alone. My wife graduated with like 500 kids. We had like 400 in the whole high school. Probably 800 in the whole school system.
I had 12 in my senior class.
What, you got a private school, Mr.
did.
Fancy Pants?
I did. That's why I can read and you can't.
And you still graduated on the bottom.
Well, I have a story for you guys if you have the time.
Certainly, Jackie.
All right. So, have you ever heard of Roy Sullivan?
Sullivan Steakhouse.
That sounds delicious. All right. So Roy Sullivan was born in Greene County, Virginia, February 7th, 1912. He started working as a ranger in the Shenandoah National Park in 1936. Sullivan was described as this brawny man with broad, rugged face that resembled the actor Gene Hackman. He's said to have avoided people during the later years of life, owing
Kind of like Gene Hackman.
yes, owing to fears of being struck by lightning. He once recalled, for instance, I was walking with the chief ranger one day when lightning struck way off. The chief said, "I'll see you later." Left him alone. On the morning of September 28th, 1983, Sullivan died at the age of 71 from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Two ranger hats are on display for the Guinness Book of World Records and in New York City and South Carolina. And here is why. 7 strikes. Sullivan's first documented lightning strike was April 1942. He was said to have been hiding from a thunderstorm in a fire lookout tower. The tower was newly built and had no lightning rod at the time. It was said to have been struck
It had a lightning rod.
It was said to have been struck 7 to 8 times. Sullivan described the scene from within the tower, saying the fire was just jumping all over the place. Sullivan said then he had to run out of the burning tower just before being struck by a few feet away from lightning. It burned half an inch strip all along his right leg, hit his toe, and left a hole in his shoe. Dude had a bad day. All right, he was hit again in July of 1969. Usually he was hit while in his truck driving on a mountain road, and the metal of the body of the vehicle normally protects people from lightning strikes, but acting as like a Faraday cage. The lightning hit first nearby trees, and it was deflected into an open window on the truck. The strike knocked Sullivan unconscious, burned off his eyebrows, his eyelashes. I don't mean to laugh at the poor man.
I think somebody
and
should
set
save
his
him.
hair on fire. So the uncontrolled truck kept moving, and it stopped at a cliff edge. I mean, like, he didn't go over, but it almost kept going. So July 1970, 1 year later, Sullivan was struck while in his front yard. Lightning hit a nearby power transformer, and from there, it jumped to his left shoulder, searing it.
What's he doing when it's like, you think you learn after like the second time?
Oh, you know what?
there's-
I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down for a while. We'll just play. I'd play on through.
I'd be walking around in a rubber suit.
There's thunder, so what should I go inside? But then he'd be in his house and it'd get struck and burned down and
Yes.
killed. So
Come
you
down
just,
the chimney and bounce off a wall or something.
And just wait, it gets worse. So, in spring of 1972, Sullivan was working inside a ranger station in Shenandoah National Park when he was struck again. It set his hair on fire. He tried to smother the flames with his jacket. He then rushed to the restroom, but he couldn't fit underneath the tap water. And so he used a towel and wet his head.
so let's like stop there for a second. Have you noticed in these older houses, the shower is only like 5 feet off the ground?
I have not noticed that.
Like go into these older houses, like even houses built in the 80s and 90s, like I can't get under the water in the shower because it like comes up to my
I'm
throat.
5'4". I don't have that problem.
I'm just like, were people shorter back then or what? Because
Probably.
you know, I'm like, oh, I'm taking a shower. I can wash my armpits, but I can't wash my head.
All right. So although Roy was never a fearful man, after the fourth strike, he began to believe that some force was trying to destroy him, and he acquired the fear of death. For months, whenever he was caught in a storm while driving his truck, he would pull over and lie down in the front seat until the storm had passed. He began to believe that he would somehow attract lightning, even if he stood in a crowd of people, and carried a can of water with him just in case his hair was set on fire. Poor guy. All right. On August 7th of 1973, while he was out on patrol in a park, Sullivan saw a storm cloud forming and drove away quickly. But the cloud, he said, seemed to be following him. When he finally thought he'd outrun of it, he decided it was safe to leave his truck. Soon after, he was struck by a lightning
You
bolt.
thought wrong.
Sullivan stated that he actually saw the bolt that hit him. The lightning moved down his left arm and his left leg and knocked off his shoe. It then crossed over to his right leg just below the knee. Still conscious, Sullivan tried crawling to his truck, poured the can of water over which he kept on him because his hair was once again on fire.
I'd just shave my head.
At that point, shave it, man. Okay. The next strike was June 5th, 1976, injured his ankle and was reported that he saw a cloud, thought it was following him, tried to run away, and was struck. His hair, once again, caught fire.
You would think at some point he'd get
It
like
had to stink.
third-degree burns or something
Oh,
on his
God.
head to where
I
he
mean,
couldn't grow hair.
The poor man. His hats are on display because of the amount of trauma the hats went through. All right. In June 25th of 1977, Sullivan was struck while fishing in a freshwater pool. The lightning hit the top of his head, set his hair on fire, traveled down, and burnt his chest and his stomach. Sullivan turned to his car when something unexpected occurred. A bear approached the pond and tried to steal the trout from his fishing line. Sullivan had enough strength to reach out and strike the bear with a tree branch, despite the fact that his hair was still on fire. So he claimed it was the 22nd time that he had hit in his life that he had struck a bear with a stick.
The bear was just coming up and going,
Hey,
Only you can prevent a forest fire. Put your hair out.
Oh my gosh, right?
Hey, boo boo, are you going to eat that
That trout there?
that delicious trout?
Yes. So all 7 strikes were documented by the superintendent of the national park, Troyer Hoskins. Hoskins was never present at the time of the reported strikes and was not active and a present superintendent in the Shenandoah National Park for many of the times that Sullivan was struck. Sullivan himself recalled the first time he was struck by lightning was not in 1942, but much earlier. He was a child. He was helping his father to cut wheat in a field when a thunderbolt struck the blade of the scythe without injuring him. But because he could not prove this fact, he never claimed that as an actual. Yes. Sullivan's wife was also struck one time when a storm suddenly arrived as she was hanging clothes in their backyard. Her husband was helping her at the time, but he escaped unharmed. So that is the life and story of
It
poor.
reminds me, was it the Great Outdoors or whatever? He's like,
Yes.
how many times you been?
17 times.
77 or whatever.
So yes, Mr. Roy Sullivan, I could not imagine the immense pain that went through, but what a guy. I mean, dang.
I wonder if he had like any surgeries where he had like metal in his body, you know what I mean? So that way
Right.
it attracted it to his body. Like
Some
a
people
pin in his leg or something.
are more prone to that. And there's another recorded document case of a gentleman that went his entire life being struck by lightning. And after he died, his grave, his monument has been struck by lightning, and they've had to repair it like 3 times. No joke. I'll pull up his story too. I don't know what it is, but some people's bodies attach to this stuff.
Well, we might have to do an episode on spontaneous combustion.
Oh,
I would
I'm
say
all
that
for
he was his diet was probably high in iron.
Yeah, I'm anemic. Don't have that problem. So yes, so that was the life and story of Roy Sullivan. Thank you for your contribution to the Shenandoah National Park. And yeah, if you're in New York, check that hat out. I'd love to see
Somebody
some
sent
pictures
some pictures to us on our Facebook.
Yes, they are his actual hats from when he was a ranger. So I would love to see them because I'm curious if they're singed on the inside or the outside.
It had to do a bunch of nerve damage to him.
Oh, it had to do immense things.
I bet he was fried.
Oh,
Fried.
Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done.
yes.
So, Jackie, do you have this week's missing child information?
I sure do.
Oh, she's on the spot
I was
today.
gonna say, if you guys give me one moment, I just gotta pull it up real
You could have
fast
gave her
here.
a cue, Jimbo.
I did.
Oh, that
Did
would
you
have
like
been
that cue?
that would have been handy. But yes, I've got him right here.
Next week, I'm bringing dry erase boards.
Okay, so
We need one up here.
our missing child this week is Noah Daniel Horn. His case number is M248368575. He has been missing since April 15th of 2025 from Matthews, North Carolina. Current age is 15 years old, male, Caucasian, dark brown eyes, dark brown hair, and any and all information can be given to. I'm so sorry, my note flipped there, and now I can't get it to go back. All right. Any information can be turned into the Charlotte Police Department in North Carolina at 704-336-7600. We will also post all of his information on our socials.
All right. This has been Dark Discoveries, where the deeper you dive,
The darker it gets.